Well, hey, Community Church, here we are back again with our daily Bible reading videos. We should have read up through Genesis 4, so that's Genesis chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4. Tomorrow we are skipping chapters 5 and 6, but we are to read chapter 7. I just wanted to hop on here and just say hello to all of you joining us either morning, noon time, or evening. We're just so glad that you're devoted to reading the Bible with us for the next 180 days. So through Genesis 4, as I mentioned in my last video, right, Genesis 1 and 2, it's awesome. It's very good. Adam has Eve. Mankind has been made in the likeness of God. God walks with Adam and Eve in the garden, and everything is very good. And then in my Bible, it's page 3. It might be just page 2 in your Bible. In Genesis chapter 3, we see that it very, very quickly goes awry and goes bad. And the serpent deceives Eve, who then deceives Adam into eating of the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. And then God confronts Adam and Eve, and then they are punished, and they are sent out of a garden. And then we get the story of Cain and Abel, who are Adam and Eve's children, where Cain gets jealous of Abel and the things that he is giving unto God. And so Cain raises up his hand, strikes Abel, and kills him. What I find interesting in these texts is that in both scenarios, God had every right, God had every will and being, and he'd be in the clear to say, you have disobeyed me. And God could have set the reset button. He could have said, nope, I'm doing this over. But his love for us and his seeking of relationship for us doesn't mean that he is going to just hit the reset button. Sorry. But God seeks restoration to his creation since the beginning. Since the start of this, we see that Adam and Eve, yes, they receive a punishment for their sins. God does say, man, you will toil through the earth. Woman, you will have labor pains, and your desire will be for your husband, and that he will rule over you. There are definite punishments to usurping God's will and wanting to determine good and evil for our own instead of obeying God. And we see with Cain and Abel as well. God confronts Cain for killing his brother, and he receives a punishment. Cain receives a punishment. But in both scenarios, it's not just a punishment. There is an act of restoration and love. In Adam and Eve's case, God sends them out of the garden, but instead of fig leaves for clothing, God gives them animal skins. He provides them some sort of comfort. In Cain's sense, he is banished. He is set to wander the desert. And Cain says, surely I will be killed. And God shows mercy unto Cain and says, if anyone were to strike you down and to kill you, well, I will curse him 7 times over. So even though Cain's in the wrong, Cain deserves everything that's coming to him, we see that God shows mercy even when we didn't deserve it. We screwed up. Humanity chose to listen to the serpent. Humanity chose to listen to that voice of jealousy and act upon it and strike down another human being. And it's amazing to me that since really page 1, we see the character of God and his seeking to restore his creation to himself since the beginning. And ultimately, we know, right? We should be good Bible readers, and we know that ultimately that happens through Jesus. Now, that's quite a few pages away in our daily Bible reading, but we see the character of God, of grace and abounding mercy and of goodness and graciousness from the start. Are there punishments that we do deserve? Absolutely. But in the midst of that, God is a God of redemption and restoration. So may that pick you up this week. Again, Genesis chapter 7 tomorrow. Next week we'll have more videos. Thank you for joining us online. We really appreciate you, Community Church.